Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is brought to you in part by Tom's Place, the finest in men's fashion, located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street, in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com. Celebrating 5 years. This is Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
How much concrete is produced for construction every year?
How did some of the world's currencies get their name? Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy. And this week, we scoured the internet for these tidbits of totally useless information just for you.
Plus, we will answer your question in the mailbag segment, like, where did the name Saran Wrap come from? And in the news, oh yeah, it was exciting.
Totally useless information. It's everything you never needed to know.
Back her up.
Hey! Oh! You! Where's your hard hat? Fasten your tool belts. This is Totally Useless Construction Info with Foreman Nick and Roy. Come on, let's go!
Man, she could be really sweet, and sometimes she's just takes control.
There's nothing sweet about her, Nick.
Yes, she is. Thanks for joining us once again, over 80 countries around the world. Thank you so much for Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
The NEOM project, with a staggering cost of $1.5 trillion, 1.5 trillion, is tagged as the most ambitious and most expensive construction project of the century. It's in Saudi Arabia, and it's a city run completely by green energy, built in a green form, and ready to house 1.5 million occupants.
Wow.
Yeah, $1.5 trillion, though.
That's a lot of money.
Oh, that's a lot of scarol, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit.
Right, in our money segment here on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. How about the longest corridor in the world? So it's called...
The longest car door?
No, a corridor, like hallway.
Oh, the old corridor.
That's right. The walk up to the top of the Colle della Guardia to reach the sanctuary of the Madonna, it's a church. It began in the 12th century when the first church was built to guard and protect an icon of the Byzantine school depicting the Madonna and the Child. The long corridor, or corridor, was built in order to protect the pilgrims who went to make their vows to the Madonna and protect them from the weather and the sun. The weather and the sun. Sorry, my denture just slipped. And to make the procession easier, which still today, every year brings the image kept to the sanctuary to the city. So this long corridor protected them from the sun and the other elements as they walked this long corridor to get to the Madonna.
If you folks out there notice that Nick sounds a bit punch drunk, it's because there was a big storm where he is in Toronto, Canada, and he's been up since like 2 a.m, and this is later on in the afternoon. So he's been up for like 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So he sounds more punch drunk than usual.
Yes. So here's the thing. So at the time that we recorded this episode, yes, I'm in Toronto, Canada. Roy is in Florida. So yes, I was up really early in the morning. In fact, I got up the night before to go to work. Really is how it turned out to be. But I'm happy to be here. You know, I'm here.
You up, Nick?
Yes, I'm
Listen,
up.
I can feel, I can understand. I got up extra early this morning to go to the beach.
All right. No. Hold on. At your age, you got up to go to the bathroom.
Nick was like, you son of a beach.
Yes.
Okay. Over 5,000 years ago, construction was changed forever.
Why?
When they invented this one thing.
What's that?
The brick.
Oh.
Yes. And it's in use more than ever because they're starting to realize that building with concrete type bricks is a lot better than lumber. So how many bricks you think are made per year, Nick? Just going to give you an idea. If you stack them end to end, you could go to the moon 700 times.
Wow.
That's a lot of bricks.
5 million.
1.5 trillion bricks
Whoa.
are made every year. That's a write one down.
It is.
Thing. 1.5 trillion bricks a year.
That's why we
Yeah.
encourage you and our audience to grab a pencil or pen or eyeliner, crayon, whatever, and writing implement and a piece of paper because
Right. We encourage people to write on bricks and then throw them through people's windows.
yeah, absolutely not. Uh, now this is a great segue, and as you know, if you remember, if you're listening for the first time, what took you so long? But thank you. Roy and I never discuss the facts. We decide on topics, which today will be construction and money later on in fashion. But here's something. You talked about bricks. Lego used to make special bricks for architects.
What?
When Gottfried Kirk Christensen, the son of the Lego founder, tried to make a Lego model of the house he was building, it didn't come out to scale because the Lego bricks have a 5:6 width to height ratio. This led to the creation of Modulex, a smaller brick that was based on perfect cubes in 1963. So they used these Lego bricks, special bricks for architects.
They're construction brick.
Yes. Unfortunately, the bricks were discontinued in the 1970s. But what an amazing
You know
thing.
what stinks though, Nick?
Yeah.
You know what stinks?
What's that?
When you got this whole team of construction guys there
Yeah.
and they're building this Lego house and they turn around and this like 8-year-old built a nicer house than them.
It is. By the way, here's a useless fact that just rattled in my head. I know we're not talking about cars, but Lego is one of the largest manufacturers of tires in the world. Because of all the Lego cars that they manufacture, they're one of the largest producers of tires. Yeah.
That's cool.
Isn't that nice? There you
That's
go.
cool.
Write that one down.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Write that one down too.
Yeah.
Construction needs lumber.
Yes.
Right? You build
yes.
a house, you're going to use some lumber. Even if you're using metal beams, you're still going to use some lumber. Wood, of course.
Yes.
So where does all this wood come from? So I did a bit of a deep dive into this.
Yes.
It's almost a billion cubic tons of wood per year.
Wow. That's a
A
lot.
lot of wood.
You know, there would be a great T-shirt, right? Construction needs wood. I mean, that would be a great T-shirt idea, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like the got milk, got wood.
Yeah, got wood. Perfect.
There you go.
We're in
we
construction.
can go on, but
yeah, we could.
so where does all of it come from, right?
Where?
This 1 billion tons per year.
Well, you have to plant a
our
tree.
friends in China,
Yes,
of course.
of course.
China leads the way at 423 million cubic tons.
Okay.
The U.S. comes in second at 307 million tons. Russia comes in third at 197 million tons. I did the top three.
Yes. Wow.
And they almost account for almost all of the lumber. And I know you guys do as well.
Yeah.
You guys,
Canada has
a lot of lumber.
one of the great resources that we have is lumber.
Yeah, I asked some Canadian men and they said, oh, yeah, we got a lot of wood.
Yes. Would I? How about the long and winding wall? Now, you talked about the wall of China in the past, and I think you talked about the length or something, right? So
Yes.
the idea of a single unified wall to protect China from invaders began when Qin Shi Huang, I think that's my Chinese pronunciation.
Qin Shi Huang.
Right. The first emperor of China is what it was. It was built between the 8th and 3rd centuries. Now, the construction continued through 1878, meaning that, including the original fortifications, the original fortifications, the wall was under construction for over...
I love watching you when you're half asleep.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. So it was under construction for over 2,600 years in total, right? And I guess in man hours. So more time passed between the start and end of the construction of the Great Wall of China than between the start of Christianity and today.
That's insane, right?
2,600 years.
You know, you could see it from space.
That's right, from the International Space Station.
It's one of the few objects that can be visible from space. That's
Wow.
so crazy.
It is, yeah.
So here's my teaser, Nick. How much concrete is produced every year?
Every year. Okay.
30 billion tons.
Wow.
30 billion with a B tons. That's incredible. Now not only is 30 billion tons, but every year now it's increasing substantially because they're using concrete brick and so on for building purposes a lot more than they used to. So concrete on the rise, 30 billion tons a year. It's made of sand and lime and sea salt water. That's how the Romans made it.
Oh.
Lime, sand, and sea salt water.
Yeah, I use lime and sea salt, but I think that's when we're having cocktails.
Yeah, well, that's Nick's margarita.
Yes, it's the Canadian margarita. Cambodia.
And you know what?
Yes.
After about 4 or 5 of them, you use your head to hit the concrete.
That's right, and it works every time. Cambodia houses the largest religious monument in the world. Cambodia houses Angkor Wat. Are you supposed to say what?
No.
No?
I've actually seen it. It's amazing. I didn't go there to see it, but I've actually seen pictures. It's utterly amazing.
It is. So it's Angkor.
And what is it called?
Angkor Wat.
What?
What?
Did you say something?
I didn't. The largest religious monument in the world. The monument translates into City of Temples. Originally constructed as a Hindu temple, the structure now serves as a Buddhist temple complex. It has a complex. It was constructed in the first half of the 12th century. It was a representation of the sacred Hindu mountain, Mount Meru. You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Thank you very much for joining us week after week. You decide...
Some noises are just funny.
You
don't have to say anything else.
No, exactly. And Roy produces lots of those noises.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information. Wall Street, Bay Street, NASDAQ, Hang Seng, loonies, toonies, dollars, and yens. This is On the Money with Nick and Roy.
No, I will go first.
On the money.
I will go first because in that intro, our voice lady, thank you very much, she does a great job. She mentions many currencies. So I thought, and here's my teaser, how did some of the currencies get their name around the world?
That's a good thought, Nick.
It is. Well, I usually think...
Let's see if you put it to practice.
Well, I think... I'll create a new expression here. I think uselessly. So the franc takes its name from the French coin Rex Francorum, which is King of Francs, which is abbreviated to franc. The rapin on the other, rapin or rappin? I think it's rappin. It's the rappin currency. Boom, boom, boom. The rappin, on the other hand, has a funny story. It bears its name thanks to an unsuccessful attempt to stamp the imperial eagle on a coin. The somewhat misbegotten bird was insulted as a raven, or rappin in German, and kept its name ever since.
The rapping. That is crazy.
It is.
See how things, for no reason at all, nobody would have ever thought, and then it becomes the name of it, you know?
Exactly.
A $1 bill weighs 1 gram. That's a U.S. $1 bill. Weighs 1 gram.
Right.
Which means that 454 bills, $1 American currency, would weigh 1 pound.
How many of them? 400?
So 1 million $1 bills would weigh 1 ton.
Oh.
Now, we watch movies all the time, and they're like, I want $1 million, and the guy comes with the suitcase and pops it open.
Yeah.
Well, how much would that suitcase weigh if it had $100 bills totaling to $1 million?
I like that concept. Wow.
Minus the weight of the case, just the weight of the money would be 20 pounds.
Wow.
That would be 20 pounds of $100 bills. I'll have a pound, thank
Yes,
you.
thank you very much. So both you and I have traveled to Europe, and while we were in Europe, we used their currency, the euro, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it
It's Mayo, not Euro.
no, it's Mayo too. First part of my last name actually. So the euro, it was derived from Europe, European Union. This name was the winning choice in a contest in 1996, and it was invented by a group of scholars in Spain. And special thanks to Roberto Cacciamani.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't use mine, which was not called the Euro. Mine was the ripoff.
Right.
Because when you exchange American money for euros, you get ripped off.
Listen, same thing with Canadian, man. It's but you know.
The most counterfeited bill in the United States,
Yes.
it's the $20 bill, which makes sense. You don't want to counterfeit a single. You'd have to counterfeit too many of them, right?
Sure.
What's the second most counterfeited bill?
The $100 bill.
Yes.
Oh, really?
You got it right.
Oh,
you
see?
should stay awake more often, Nick. That's the first time
You know what? I almost said the $20 bill because it's the most common, right? Because it's easy to, if you're into that sort of thing.
It was the first, Nick.
Right. Okay.
See, just when you thought Nick was actually with us.
Yes. The number,
The
answer,
$100 bill
okay.
is the second most counterfeited bill. But in 1972, the United States got so mad because I think Korea and some other countries were just flooding us with counterfeited bills, that in 1972 they made what's called the Coinage Act of 1972.
Okay.
It made counterfeiting punishable by death.
Oh, wow.
And it's still on the books today. If you counterfeit money, you could get the death penalty. You can kill as many people as you want, but don't counterfeit a dollar.
Right. Well, here's the thing. So first of all, you talked about the law still on the books. So one of our new topics is law, as provided by you, one of our listeners. So in future, you can listen back to a couple of episodes on. Go to nickandroy.com, check out the full library of shows, but also check out any of your podcast platforms like Spotify or Apple or any of your platforms or iHeartRadio.
What was that topic?
Law.
I object.
Yes. Overruled. So here's another one. Here's another currency. It's the INTI. I-N-T-I. INTI. And it's
Where's that from?
Peru. The
Ooh.
regional word from Peru meaning sun, the principal god of Inca culture.
Wow.
Yeah, so INTI.
The INTI, Peru.
Yes.
And they still have it?
I believe they do. I can double check that while you. do
Yeah,
your
wow,
next
that
fact.
is cool.
Yeah.
After World War, I'm like,
Yes.
Ricola.
Yes.
Our new sponsor, Ricola.
Yes.
No. After World War One, hyperinflation completely devalued German money. The German mark went from, being worth $1 to being worth less than a penny.
Okay.
It got so devalued that it was worthless, literally worthless. You would need a wheelbarrow full of dollars just to buy a loaf of bread. So people began taking their money out of their safes and things like that and banks, and they hoarded the money because it kept devaluing. At the end, they started using it rather than they couldn't afford to buy paint, so they would wallpaper their walls with the money.
Wow.
Or just give it to their children to play with.
Okay.
Can you imagine that they actually wallpapered some of their walls in their homes with the money?
Wow. So let's give you an update on the INTI. The Nuevo Sol, or New Sun, was adopted in July of 1991, replacing...
Hold on, Nick. News alert.
Yes.
News alert.
Yeah, wow. So the Nuevo Sol was adopted in 1991, replacing the Inti at an exchange rate of 1 million to 1.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Inti notes and
Wow.
coins are no longer legal tender in Peru, nor can they be exchanged for notes and coins denominated in the current Nuevo Sol.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It is. Now, here's another extinct currency, the lira. Now, I remember growing up in an Italian household, the lira was one of the things when they used to go to Italy and say, oh, how many liras it costs, or how many U.S. dollars or whatever, Canadian dollars it costs to buy a lira. So lira was popular, it was used, circulated rather, in Italy, Turkey, the Vatican, Malta, and San Marino. And the lira is Latin for libra, or scales, or pound.
Oh yeah, the scales.
Yeah.
Think about the astrological sign for Libra.
That's right. There you go.
How cool.
Yes.
See? You learned something new here.
Listen, laugh, and learn on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
I got a cool one here that is one of these thought ones that you really don't think about.
Okay.
Now, we understand from looking at the intricacy, and I use these big words because I just looked them up this morning.
Yes.
The intricacy of, let's say, looking at a dollar bill,
Right.
or even Canadian money, or any money for that matter, the intricacy that went into it. Engravers that make these plates are incredible artists. They have incredible use of tools that will detail these bills down to the finest hair. Here is the coolest part of all, though, that we don't think about. They do it backwards
Oh.
because the print is what comes off of the engraving. So they have to do it backwards. So if they write numbers, they have to be backwards. If they write words, they are written backwards. That is incredible.
I love that one.
So,
That's
yeah.
fantastic.
Plates are done in a mirror image so that when they're stamped, you see them the way they should be.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information.
Hey, it's Nick and Roy for Tom's Place, where the month of February celebrates hearts and family.
Tom's late father, William Mahalik, was born on February 20th, 1916. He founded the original store back in 1958, believing in the importance of caring for customers and working hard to provide the best deals. These values continue at Tom's Place today.
And in honor of his dad, Tom is celebrating with a Family Day sale. You heard it right. The Family Day sale, and great deals. Well, they're a tradition at Tom's.
Don't miss our quality dress shirts on clearance for just $50. Stay warm with stunning wool and cashmere top coats. Price for end of season for only $2.99, including Canadian-made Jack Victor brand. Ask Tom about suits at an incredible $149 to $229, marked down from $599. Plus, premium Ted Baker label suits for less than half price at only $450.
Visit us in store for even more specials. You'll find specials all over. And also visit us at toms-place.com. That's toms-place.com.
It's all about family at Tom's Place. And at Tom's Place, everyone is treated like part of the family.
You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
I think if this is correct, and part of the useless information that I have in my head for the past 5 years that we've done this show, with 220 some odd episodes and counting, I believe in the old days of the printing press, where you would have to take each letter and literally put the letters together to spell out the words in the printing press. And they were inverted. They were backwards. Thus the expression, mind your P's and Q's, because the lowercase p and the lowercase q look very much like the same letter. So mind your P's and Q's is where that expression came from. And here's an even more fascinating thing. You know how you say uppercase and lowercase letters?
Yeah.
The reason why they're called uppercase and lowercase, and I found this out in one of the places I visited near Niagara Falls, Ontario, is that the capital letters were in the uppercase where they stored them, and the non-capital letters were stored in the lowercase of that cabinet.
Right. So to use uppercase, you
Uppercase
went to
and
the higher
lowercase.
drawer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You
Crazy,
see,
right?
absolutely. Listen, laugh, and learn here on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We invite you to go to our website. Also, if you go to the bottom of the page, actually scroll slowly. Scroll slowly.
They don't need an invitation, Nick.
No,
they
they
could
don't.
just go to
They
nickandroy.com.
That's right. Go right there and you can check out our sponsors, but also you go right to the bottom and you can sign up for our monthly newsletter, which is a great complement to our show. And you just go to our website, nickandroy.com.
Welcome to the Totally Useless Information Fashion Show.
So I'm going to give you some fashion trends throughout the decades, which I've done before, but I figured these are really interesting decades. For example, from the 1620s, 1620 to 1629, which is when I was born. The 1620. See, I beat you to the punch. To the punch, okay? The 1620s saw the adaptation of leg of mutton sleeves in both men's and women's wear. Because who wouldn't want to wear a leg of mutton? Would you?
Oh, I love it. I love a good mutton.
You do.
It's got to be lean.
Yes, really lean. You're a mutton for punishment. While men's clothing achieved an elegant, longer line, women's dress became high-waisted and fuller. 1620 to 1629.
Yeah, the bigger you were, the more wealthy you were.
Exactly.
Yeah, so being larger was in,
Yes.
so to speak.
Right.
We spoke about the first fashion magazines being geared towards men
Yes.
at the time,
Yes.
but the first actual women's fashion magazine was published in France.
In France. It's French. Yes,
Yes.
go on. Yes.
And it was published in 1912, the year Nick graduated from college.
Yes. with honors. With honors.
It was called, get ready,
Yes.
La Gazette du Bon Temps.
Let's continue our fashion trends through the decades. From 1850 to 1859, the fashion of the 1850s for both men and women was in a colorful, exuberant style and luxurious fabrics and relaxed cuts. Now, technological innovation had a large impact on clothing in this time period, 1850 to 1859, because of the invention of the cage crinoline to the increasing availability of the sewing machine. Therefore, it changed their fashion from 1850 to 1859.
Yeah. See, when all this mechanized stuff came in, it changed everything, you know?
Exactly. Yes, of course.
Now, I'm a big fan. My wife is a shoe freak. She's a shoe lunatic.
She has a lot of shoes.
I think she's probably up to maybe 250 pairs of shoes and maybe 40 pairs of boots.
Who was it that was?
Oh yeah, she's going on the 300. She's on the Amanda Marcos diet.
I was gonna say that's who I was thinking of. Yeah.
And she loves heels. My wife has 6-inch heels. You know, 6-inch pump.
Yeah.
I've actually seen. I think she's had some as big as 8-inch heels. 8-inch pump.
Oh, wow.
The Guinness World Book of Records says that the tallest pair of worn, meaning the woman wears them, high heels, is 18.1 inches.
What?
You heard me. 18.1 inches. Now that's, I would assume the shoe has to have a platform as well, because
you would think. All right, let's go to 1920 to 1929. The 20s fashion is often remembered for its glitz and glamour, though underlying this was a move towards simplicity in dress. And for women, this meant shorter skirts and simple shapes, while men enjoyed casual suits.
I love this one, guys. Get ready.
Yeah.
In response to, we're talking about in the early days of flying, in response to the pilots having severe sun glare and not being able to see what's in front of them.
Right.
One company invented something they called the aviators.
Oh, okay.
We saw Joe Biden wearing them all the time.
That's right.
The
yes.
Ray-Ban sunglasses were born. Sunglasses were then made called the aviators. They were made so that pilots wouldn't see the glare of the sun. Thus, they called them aviators. They became a big hit, and everybody started wearing them, including those two idiots on the motorcycles in that show Chips in
Yeah.
the 80s.
1930 to 1939, fashion saw a profound influence from films and, of course, specifically Hollywood. Men's, women's, and children's styles were based on fashions seen on the screen, with the stars like Clark Gable, Jean Harlow, and Shirley Temple among the many who directly influenced fashion. A return to conservatism after the Roaring '20s also marked fashion during this period, 1930 to 1939.
Now, you know that this segues into what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Okay, so back then they looked at stars that they idolized and they chose a fashion. So there was a fashion trend. Okay, and that's what happened in the 50s. You had fashion trends. In the 60s, you had hideous fashion trends, and so on. In the 70s, you had members only jackets.
Yeah.
But in the 80s, people just lost their minds, and fashion just turned into anything that people saw. So fashion went all over the place. So whatever people saw in a magazine or on TV, there was no real trend. It was just whatever people wanted to throw on. And these people now have a name. It is a term that is widely used. Those people are called fashion victims.
Oh.
So if you see somebody that's dressed with, like, black high heel boots,
Right.
with with shorts on, and a green and yellow tie-dye shirt, they're a fashion victim. Or if you just see Nick in the street, he's
Right.
the fashion victim.
Yes. Exactly.
Nick's such a fashion victim. He goes into the store and just hands him his wallet.
Yeah. You know me well. Totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Thank you very much for joining us. 80 countries have done so around the world. We really appreciate your support because we do hear about it and we do love doing what we do. Not only do we appreciate you listening to our show, but we really appreciate those of you who've clicked on nickandroy.com and clicked on the Nick and Roy store. And you've clicked on, you just kept clicking until you found the birthday message and you've ordered it for your loved one. And we are getting rave reviews because what we do is we produce an actual mini Totally Useless Information show about the day that person was born. What a great and unique gift.
No, it's an amazing gift. And we don't just say that. We're telling you this because we've done so many of them. I mean, we knock out lots and lots every week.
Mm-hmm.
But the response that we get from the people that receive them or from the loved ones that buy them, I'm going to tell you right now, I have never had such a response to anything in my life. That these people, they get this birthday message. You got to go to nickandroy.com. You click on the Nick and Roy store. There's a sample of a birthday message. Click on it. You're going to want to. This is the go-to gift for people.
nickandroy.com and click on the Nick and Roy store. nickandroy.com.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information. To access the full library of episodes, visit nickandroy.com. That's nickandroy.com. You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
What's in the mailbag? What's in the mail?
All right.
Michelle, my belle. Michelle from
Michelle?
Michelle. That's who's in the mailbag. Michelle from Bolton, Ontario. She's one of my fellow Canadians. Dear Nick and Roy, we love listening to your show. We totally agree when you say, listen, laugh, and learn. Are you sure she's listening to the right show? We really appreciate you guys. You make us laugh, and we need that today more than ever. Here's my question. I was using plastic cling wrap in the kitchen the other day and wondered, why do we call the plastic cling wrap Saran wrap. Well, that's the name brand. Saran wrap was discovered by accident, and usually it's really amazing to find out some of these inventions were invented by accident. So this is an accident by Dow Chemical Lab worker Ralph Wiley. He was having trouble washing beakers in the process of developing a dry cleaning product, and he came up with this. He discovered this film, this plastic film. John Riley was Ralph's boss at Dow Chemical. After the accidental discovery of the cling wrap, John Riley decided to come up with a name for the product. He took a combination of his wife's and daughter's names, Sarah and Ann Riley, and in 1949,
Saran.
Dow introduced Saran wrap, a thin, clingy plastic, maybe because his wife and daughter are also clingy. I don't know. But anyway, the plastic wrap that was sold in rolls and used primarily for wrapping food, it quickly became popular for preserving food items stored in the
Oh,
refrigerator.
wow. That is cool.
There you go. So thank you very much, Michelle from Bolton, Ontario.
Nick always picks the ones, I noticed this.
Yes.
Nick always picks the ones that ask questions.
Yes.
I don't.
No. Okay. So
I
what-
look for hate mail.
Yes.
That's the first thing I look for.
Right.
And I'm so happy that we very, very rarely
Yeah.
get any hate mail. I think I read maybe one or two
Yeah.
in all these years, and I've read maybe 5 or 6 lunatics. But in general, I like the ones that praise us because that's just me. I like praise.
Of course. Yes.
That's why I don't have sex that much.
That's right. Yes.
Hate to be judged, you know?
Yes. At the end of a session, your wife puts out a card, 3.5, 4.
Nick calls sex a session. Does this man need therapy?
After you've had relations. No, it's a session.
Relations.
No, it's
Relations. Now he's into the taboo stuff.
Listen, it is a session, right? Because usually there's a time limit to a session, isn't there?
Yeah. In your case, it's a minute.
Right. He remembers it well. You were saying,
I was saying this week, I found Audrey from London, England.
Hello,
Good
Audrey.
old London.
hello, Audrey.
And she says, and I love this one because it's so cool. She's a chef in London and she works in a restaurant. They get there early to prep the kitchen. So I've been in the restaurant business. When it gets busy in the kitchen, it's very noisy, people screaming stuff out.
Yeah.
But they get there early to prep, and the staff gets there extra early because Audrey plays our show
Oh,
on her computer tablet. She plays our show while they're prepping in the kitchen. They're all so psyched about it. They say, we love your show, and we've listened to 3 full seasons so far, more to come, and please keep making them. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
She writes ta-ta.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
But that is cool. Look at what our listeners are doing.
Oh, wow.
That's a cool way to listen to the show.
Well,
They're prepping for an hour in the kitchen, and they learn stuff, and they listen, and they can laugh, and it keeps them focused.
today on the show, we talked about construction, we talked about money, we talked about fashion. It's time for the news.
And now, from around the corner and around the world, this is TUI News.
So this is an exciting happening here now. Do you want to know
With
what
the
this
price of eggs, it should be.
Well, this comes in quite timely because police are investigating a brazen theft at a West Seattle cafe where thieves made off with hundreds of eggs and other breakfast foods in the early hours recently. The officers scrambled to the Luna Park Cafe, located in the 2900 block of Southwest Avalon Way, around 4:42 in the morning, after a report of a suspicious activity that was captured on security cameras. So they scrambled to the cafe just to find what had happened.
Scrambled.
Right.
You gotta exert yourself to get up that early.
That's
Nick,
right.
know?
You know, usually the police are pretty introverted, but they came out of their shell. According
Yeah,
to
well,
police,
when you get there that early, Nick, you'll be exhausted.
exhausted. According to police, yokes on you. According to police, 2 men were seen entering a refrigerated shed at the restaurant and poached the boxes containing
Poached
approximately
the eggs.
540 eggs valued at $387, along with bacon, ground beef, blueberries, and liquid egg products.
You know those 540 eggs as of today's value, meaning because it's gone up so much in the last month or so because of that stupid bird flu, that would be almost $550 today.
Well, the egg theft comes at a time when egg prices have flown to record
So
highs.
these people scouted out.
Yes.
They cased the egg joint,
That's right.
the cafe,
Right.
and they said, we're going to break in here at night and make off with all the eggs.
Right.
We're gonna poach the eggs.
They broke in. They had to break in.
Yeah.
Right. The value of the stolen goods is estimated to be $780.
Wow.
So
Do they sell that through one of their shell companies?
maybe they did. Seattle police are urging anyone with information about the theft to contact the Seattle Police Department at write this down. You have your pen ready anyway, because we always tell you on our show.
Yes.
206-233-5000. 206-233-5000. As they catch the egg, they would like to catch the egg thieves and lay charges against them. But they admit it won't go over easy.
Are these cops comedians?
I don't know. So basically,
This is crazy.
the moral of the story was police scrambled to the location because apparently these thieves poached some eggs and other breakfast items.
Could you imagine they catch the guy and his name is Sonny? This guy, they stole eggs, Nick.
Yes.
What's the world coming to?
Well, it's coming to an end, as is this episode of Totally... What did I segue? Totally Useless Information.
Scrambling to the end.
Scrambling to the end. Thanks for joining us on Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We will scour the internet far and wide to find out totally useless information just for you.
And I know you feel the same as I do, that this was an exciting show. But Nick is exhausted. And
I need to get to sleep now.
So until then,
Yes.
I want you to tell all your friends about the show, and I want Audrey to know. Big shout out to London, England. Hope you're making shepherd's pie. I love it.
Ta-ta, Audrey. I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy. Ta-ta.
Thanks for listening. Ta-ta.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy has been brought to you in part by Tom's Place, the finest in men's fashion. Located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com.